Welcome, Carm Capriato, the Service Aftermarkets Podcast Pioneer, with the gold standard of aftermarket business podcasts. Join me for Aftermarket Insights as we advance the aftermarket. And as always, know that you'll learn just one thing. Find us on your favorite podcast listening app and remarkableresults.biz or on my YouTube channel. Hey everybody, Carm Capriato, good to have you, good to see you. It's Remarkable Results Radio, the podcast pioneer, and started this back in 2015, just so that you don't forget. In the 1,000th episode arena, as we continue to grow every week. I got a great episode for you. I'd love to introduce you to two great people from Optimize Marketing, or sometimes called Optimize Digital. What do you guys do?
Optimize Digital Marketing, yeah, is what
that will work. Optimize Digital Marketing. Jordan Greene, Director of Operations. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon, Carm.
Hey, Jordan. Doug Robison is here, and he's the Director of Sales and Partnerships.
Hello.
These both sound like incredibly important positions.
There's just a lot of titles.
Yeah, a lot of titles, and I work my ass off every day. I know, I get it. I really do. We're going to talk about AI.
We are.
Wow, AI, and I am affected by AI every day, and I don't know it. I mean, texting is starting to say, would you like us to help you with the phone comes up and it says, we have an AI companion, and I'm thinking, what do you want to do? Have my conversations with me?
What does that even mean? Right? Like,
and what does it mean? And I guess a theme of the show that we want to talk about is, well, we were in the green room coming on and we were just chatting about stuff. I come up with this little phrase called add you to it. Add you to it. And I guess let's start off the dialogue. We're going to AI, we're going to chat, and we're going to Claude or all these other ones that are Gemini. I think if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're right. All of them, right? The Siris, the Alexas, those are all forms of AIs. We see them everywhere.
I mean, they'll draw you pictures. I saw somebody, this incredible, beautiful rendering, and I said, are you an artist? No, it was just...
I just typed a couple words into AI, and that's what I got. Yeah, we do the same thing.
We actually did an exercise a couple of weeks ago that we had to figure out how to get the best AI-looking picture that we would want to use. It was pretty crazy on some of the things that came up.
I did an episode, I think it was yesterday, and the green screen background for this individual was a automotive shop at Christmas. And the tree was in the bays, and there were lights on the lifts and everything. And I said, is that your place? You know what he said? He says, no, that's an AI rendering of Christmas in an automotive shop.
Oh, it's crazy. They even have AIs to do, like, you can plug in your video for your podcast into an AI system, and it'll spit you out with captions and new backgrounds and transitions and the whole shebang.
I know. And it's scary as to how much time you want to invest, how important all of that is. Some of it is really important. I get it. But I guess since it's scary that it's showing up everywhere, that there is a value and there is a use in the automotive. And I'm sure you guys are using it, but are you cautioning your clients to be careful, be sure you add you to it? Help us understand this add you to it thing.
Absolutely. I think if anyone could get anything out of this conversation, that the primary idea is that AI should not be used alone and just assumed to be correct in all capacities. It's really great for quantitative data, right? It's the qualitative where it really struggles. So things that can be quantified are more simple. Numbers don't lie, and math is math. But when it comes to an idea or creativity, that's where it tends to get off the rails a little bit. Like I can ask AI a simple question about servicing a vehicle, and it'll tell me, well, make sure you empty the gas out of the tank before you change the oil. As far as I remember, that was never a rule.
Right.
So things like that is where we see it kind of go off the rails. So just remembering to always keep your eyes on it and make sure you're aware of what it's doing is the most important thing, and not to let it kind of lead itself.
You also have to be very concise on what you're going to ask that, because you can get different results by just changing the flow of your sentence or your question. You can have a completely different response back from them. So you have to make sure that you're very accurate in how you are asking this question or this command from them.
Give me an idea what somebody would ask AI for to help run their shop.
So one of the things that we see commonly is asking AI for help in responses, right? If you've got a negative review or a situation where you may not be as confident in how you want to speak to this person, and you want to make sure something has sort of taken control and reworded it for you, we see people ask AI a lot. And AI is a system that it may not be human, but it does respond to biasy based on the language that you use. So depending on how it would put the information into that generator, if you're very angry and that tone is there, AI will often spit that tone back out for you. And that may not be how you want to respond to a customer in that situation. We also see AI in the immediate chat function on websites. That's a form of AI. So they could be someone asking how to have their vehicle serviced or what they need or how to schedule an appointment. So we see it on both sides, both from inside the shop and from outside.
I got to tell you, that was so interesting that they're going to respond to the bias. If I was crazy enough to put in the review that I got into AI and say, I just got this review, can you give me a response? And the response comes back and says, what do you mean?
We've seen it. We've seen it all. And we've even seen AI try to rectify a situation. And that's almost scarier because AI will offer free services in return for fixing the review or things of that nature that just don't apply, and will put a business owner in a very sticky situation very quickly.
Yep. Well, your review said that if I came back in, you would fix it, and I just have to fix my review.
Yes.
So you have to add you to it. Is there a rule that you're saying with your clients, look at, if you're going to type in something in AI and get it, copy and paste, put it on a document, put it somewhere on your screen and read that. And I guess the rules would be, is that really you speaking? And are there a few words in there that you can't laze out on and you need to say, I don't think I wouldn't say that, or how to the street, or how to into my client base's head or mind or relationship is this response? And if it's not, then I guess you got to take 8 of the words, put them on paper and fill in around them, because maybe that's all you were looking for is a couple of $9 words.
Yeah, starting point, right? That's what it's great for, is that kind of launching pad. But I often tell people to read it out loud because AI doesn't have tone. The internet, you're typing text out. Tone is very different. And especially when you may be in a different part of the country where those words are just not part of the common vernacular, AI doesn't know that. And it doesn't necessarily know where you are. So it will word things very strangely sometimes. So reading it out loud would be a number one for sure of if you're going to use it, especially in a marketing sense.
The other thing that I like to tell them often is they have to make sure that they put their own personal touch on there. They want to use that as just kind of the foundation, but they need to add all the extra pieces in there to give it that personal touch. Otherwise, the general public are going to know that is not coming directly from them, and they're hiring somebody to use it or something else, and it's not going to work very well.
Here's the talking points we wanted to cover. And I have to tell you, we've already done it in the first 10 minutes. Okay. Just how new is AI? I think we kind of know that even though it's been around a while, it's still in its infancy, but it's growing leaps and bounds. How to use it correctly. We're speaking to that right now. We were going to talk about how you can't just forget it, set it and forget it and leave it, and what AI has to say about the best practices. We can get into that. I think that would be kind of an interesting thing as it comes to digital marketing. But I have expounded on my little theme called add you to it. I added the words, is it you?
Ooh, I love that,
because,
Carm.
Yeah, you just hit me over the head when you said read it out loud. And if you read it out loud and it doesn't sound like you and it's phony coming out, I mean, almost get the little mirror in front of you and read what AI says and says, "You phony son of a," then it can't be a reflection of your company. Even if it's an internal memo to your people, they're going to say, "Who the hell wrote this?"
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I think one thing that's really important is a lot of people are still not buying the AI train, but what they have to realize is AI has actually been around since 1950s, 1960s. It started off as big data where the big companies were gathering information and using that to make decisions about things. So it's just been a progression ever since then as people keep getting and giving more information. And they're using all these super machines to process this information to make these decisions. You look at companies like Amazon, that's how they decide which warehouses are going to have which product so they can get you that overnight shipping. So there's a million different things that they're able to do by capturing this information. And every time people are using their activation systems, it's learning that information, putting it inside this big data, and creating more AI prompts.
In digital ads too. That's how those algorithms learn what you want. So as much as we can be afraid of the big AI models that we're all hearing about now, the chat GPTs and things of that nature, but the AI and algorithms has been around for so long. It learns and it grows, and it makes me happy when I'm shopping online and Amazon already knows what I want next.
I want to interview so badly the head of Amazon's logistics / AI. I mean, wouldn't that be fascinating to listen to somebody and says, "How do you manipulate me like you do? How do you make me so happy when I really don't need it Saturday? But if you're going to send it to me tomorrow, I guess I'll take it."
If you ever get that interview, please let me just be a fly on the wall.
Right. I'll sit in the green room and listen.
Think about the power of the algorithms. Forget AI.
Yep.
It's not AI. It's just computer power. It's logic. It's workflows. I mean, if you've ever looked at code, you all know what code if then
statements. Yep.
I have seen so much of that in my lifetime because I really did spend some time working with some people with software and code, and then watch them look at and find an error, add a line or two, and I just sit there so fascinating to think. And that was like 15 years ago. Think about where it is today, but to stop and think. And I know, to our listeners, I know we're going off to the deep end, to the left a little bit, but bear with us, because I think you as a listener has to be as curious as we are as to how AI affects us everywhere and how many warehouses. I bought some really odd plastic round thing to put in my basement to protect spills. And it came in one day. And I'm saying, how could they have this so close? How could they even figure out how to forward deploy something like that?
It's crazy. And they stock warehouses based on that information, right? When they know that certain products are picking up in certain parts of the country, they start to already have them readily available nearby. And I would never be able to think that way as just my everyday, but that algorithm's got it.
Think about that. Not only are they shipping a ton of product out to consumers, they're shipping product from supplier and warehouse to warehouse. Can you imagine the logistical lift of what is it that I move? What is it that I pick? What is it? Can you imagine going to a manufacturer and saying, "Listen, if I'm promising my customer 2 days, you better get new product to me in 2 days." Can you imagine the behemoth stress on a system like Amazon?
My head already hurts.
Okay.
Just starting to think about it.
Even if we wanted to put it in terms for our automotive industry, the people like Bridgestone, ATD, Tire Hub, O'Reilly's, Napa, all those guys are using the same type of logic to make sure that the right parts are in the right regions of the country for the right time of the seasons. So
category management, there is so much that goes on that plays with the inventories that are forward deployed, not only warehouses, but hub stores and then local stores. I think our biggest problem in our industry is getting the people, the feet to the street to, get the product out there. But what are we doing to use, maybe it's not AI, but there's a lot of software out there that's starting to help us with workflows and, showing us some really good integrated calendars and CRMs and all that. Our industry is really moving forward. What are we forward deploying to tablets at each of our technicians, bays? And how are we communicating with our customers? Have you seen the future of our industry? You guys must have. You know what you're working on. I mean, come on, give us a clue. How much is AI going to really impact marketing?
AI is going to be huge in marketing. It's when you think of an industry where it's so much of the same things, right? You can only make a root canal look so exciting so many times. For something that is service based, it can be hard. So using AI to help find some of those maybe creative ways to come at talking about services that nobody wants to talk about. They may, your typical soccer mom may not want to talk about the brake job that she needs on her vehicle, but understanding the whys and how she can go about it and making it more fun and relatable for someone like that. AI is a really useful tool for making those connections, but it all comes down to how you speak to those programs because it is not easy. I will tell you that asking, a simple question and trying to find that launching pad can take hours sometimes to get to the where you actually want that idea and it actually makes sense. And it's because of that inaccuracy that does happen too. So you just have to know when you're asking AI, you use positive inflection as much as you can, lessen the big words. I know that sounds crazy for a lot of us marketers. Like we want to try to sound professional, but using the big words can trip AI up really quickly.
Yep.
So it's keeping it simple, the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. And when you're asking AI, give as much detail as far as like branding and coloring and tone. But when it comes to like the basic idea, hit that refresh button a couple times. Let AI spit you out a couple ideas and see if any of them are going in the right direction and then tweak what you want to say. I will say that's a very big hint as to where we're taking our use of AI.
On the other side of that, it's kind of interesting. If you ask AI directly how much you should rely on AI for digital marketing, it's going to say it should be used as a tool, and you still should be doing it personally too. So it has to be a good mix. So even AI is telling you it's not 100% accurate.
Hey, let's face it. Your shop management system is the single most important tool in your shop, period. NapaTrax has made selecting the right shop management system easy by offering the industry's best, most comprehensive SMS. Now, it all starts when a local representative meets with you to learn about your business and how you need to run it. After all, it's your shop, so it's your choice, and having local representation is a huge plus. Customizing tracks to your business, whether you're a one-person shop or a large multi-bay or multi-location company, a representative consults with you to help optimize your shop's workflow, efficiency, and profitability. Trax always has the flexibility to do business how you need to do it, which means it can also grow as your business grows. And unlike the other guys, will be there for you after installation with the best training and support in the business. Yes, a learning management system tailored to each role in your company. Simply put, Trax was designed and built for shop owners just like you. Visit us on the web at NapaTrax, that's NapaTracs.com. Transform your team with today's class, where automotive training is easy, quick, and fun. Just 5 minutes a day on our app can eliminate hours of looking up forgotten information later. It's perfect for technicians, advisors, and managers alike. Keep critical knowledge fresh and top of mind, ensuring your team operates at peak efficiency. Today's class is impactful, accessible from anywhere, and a bit of fun too, and we're not talking about after-hours pizza either. For training that gets results, turn to todaysclass.com. So scary. I'm starting to write down the how-to list. Positive, I think positive inflection, I think you were saying, right?
Yes,
Is that
yep.
Positive inflection? Simple words.
Yep.
Lots of detail.
Yep.
Tone and branding. This is who we are. This is what we do. We love our customers. We know, like, and trust our people. We have the greatest people that work for us. And then after you get your stuff back to you, which isn't you, remember, you got to add you to it, but do some refreshing. So you're saying let them do the heavy lift, but you've got sentences and paragraphs to use.
Correct.
That sound like you. And if they don't sound like you, then make them you.
Yeah.
Make
the other
them
piece
you.
that's really important, Carm, is you want to make sure that you get your emotion in there too, like your emotional tone. So whether you want a happy, witty, frustration. You want to make sure that you get those pieces put into your prompt into AI so it spits out the correct format for you.
I love that.
Yeah. Or even introduce yourself to AI. So sometimes when I ask AI a question, because I do my role here at ODM, and then I also have my role outside of ODM where I'm still on social media. I work as an affiliate with other brands, and I have to change how I speak to my AI and reintroduce myself every time because I'm using the same model. So it's already learned me. But when I'm working here, my tone and my voice is different from my position and what I'm trying to do on behalf of our customers. And then when I go back to my other, affiliate game, hey, this is Jordan. I work with so and so, and here's the tone I need to take, and it's from this position, and here's what I'm trying to do. And I will literally say that to AI. So it'll help spit me out more creative opportunities and options that actually fit versus trying to kind of merge those two worlds together because it wouldn't work.
Are we asking AI for words on paper? Are we asking AI for speaking points?
All of the above.
All of it. Yeah, it's kind of a really great, you can almost ask for anything. So I can go to AI and say, hey, I even had AI proof kind of my talking points that I sent over to you just to give me some feedback from the AI standpoint. And I had to giggle a little bit because AI was like, yeah, you're right. Don't just rely on AI for marketing. I was like, we got you, AI.
I love it. AI, tell us about you.
And it'll say, don't do it.
Yeah.
Run away.
Wow. How new AI is, how to use it correctly, why you cannot just forget and leave it when it comes to AI was really being honest with you.
Very much in that scenario. Yeah, it was interesting because that was partially coming back from Gemini too, which is the one I think we see when we Google and you see that snippet up at the top. One thing I will say that I do like about Gemini is the sources are there. So similar to how when we all wrote papers in school, you had to source all your data that you pulled from. They actually have the links right there for you because when AI does get it wrong, because it's reading headlines and doing the same thing we often do as consumers too, if you want to click further, you can actually go to that article or that source where it pulled that information from, and you can read further if you want to confirm, which is nice.
I am blown away on the speed of the response. I just can't imagine that there's this kind of computer power that exists in our world.
That can search everything that's out there in like a half a second and spit it back out to you.
or does the algorithm say, listen, in the first 1 million words we just read in 8 seconds, that's enough to get this thing started? I mean, my point is that I don't believe it looks at everything. I believe it takes something and says, you think my client will be happy with this?
I would say you're probably right.
To play devil's advocate, you can't believe everything that it spits out either. There's a few scenarios where we did John Cena is the prime minister of Kenya or something like that. John Cena, the wrestler. I'm pretty sure that's not accurate, but that's what AI told us. And then there's the other one where name all the cities that have, or the states that have the letter G in Africa. Gave back none, but there's a few.
Sure, there would be.
You've got to take that with a grain of salt too, and make sure that you're validating the information.
Tricking AI is one of my personal pastimes at this point.
No, really? You get off on that, huh?
Fun. It's so fun, Carm, because you feel so smart.
She'll send me screenshots going, look what I did.
Oh, that is just too cool.
When you play with AI every day, it becomes it does become kind of gamified in that way, because then it helps you recognize when it's going to be inaccurate.
Why are you playing with AI every day?
Because it increases efficiency in areas where I think we struggle. When you're doing the same repetitive tasks over and over, who doesn't start to it becomes monotonous, mistakes are made, but especially in a capacity when you're talking about marketing and creativity, it's hard sometimes to think of the new best way to do something. And so having someone else just take a stab and tweak your own ideas or add to your ideas is very helpful. And it helps it become not so stale in a lot of ways. So that is one thing it's really useful for.
What about plagiarism? Is that important in marketing? I mean, I know people want to go out and write a book or they want to write an article and they're going, I just can't imagine someone who's looking for author status or influencer status that they would be plagiarizing. But that seems to be something we need to be concerned about.
Hugely. I was actually just talking to a teacher recently in the last couple weeks, and I asked her about how they're tackling the AI front when it comes to students and writing papers. And she actually said they're going back to pen and paper because of the AI issue in plagiarism, because AI doesn't always recognize that it's doing it, and it'll actually spit that out for you. So I think when I look at it from like an author standpoint, remember we can ask AI to do anything. I've already written 50 books in the same genre. I might ask AI to help me with a story plot rather than writing the story for me, and maybe giving me, that story lead up in the climax and how does the story end versus those specific words on the paper. I think that would be how they could be more efficient with something like AI. But again, those ideas probably exist somewhere else online as well, too. So you do run that risk of it matching someone else's story because it is AI.
But pen and paper, if you're forcing me to write pen and paper, okay, I'll copy what AI just told me.
Right. Yeah,
There's
still doesn't fix the problem.
It's not going to fix the problem. It fixed my problem once. I was
Did you have to write lines?
Oh, yes. I was in sixth grade. Sixth grade.
How many?
The rule in the school was you cannot talk in the hall. It was getting really noisy as people were going to the basement to have lunch. So we're in line. One of my classmates in front of me turned around, looked at me and says, "Do you know what's for lunch?" And I said, "No." I got caught. He didn't.
Oh, no. And you had to write lines for that?
1,000 times I will not talk in the corridor. And I had no idea what corridor was. I'm in sixth grade. And so, yes, 1,000 times. It was my birthday weekend in sixth grade. The next day, that Saturday was a Friday. The next day, Saturday, was my birthday. And I had sister, brother, cousins come in and write 2 or 3 pages for me as close as they could. Yeah, happy birthday present. And I said, "You think she'll notice him?" So like every 20 pages, I would insert one of my cousins or sister, brother. And I went to the local drugstore, bought a thank you card, put it in this entire thick little manila envelope with all these pages in it. And I said, "Thank you very much. It was the greatest birthday present. I'll never forget it in my entire life."
You didn't lie because you still remember it.
This is memory, a long time ago. And I ended up becoming very close to that teacher in her career and in my career. I would go to the school she became principal in, and I would walk up to her and I'd say, "Don't tell me the story again. I don't want to hear about it." You said pen and paper, and boom, that hit me. So I don't mean to digress or move to a different subject.
I love that story.
Yeah, it's a great story. Yeah, we got to be careful with AI.
We do. And in the search engines, they're picking up on it. So, the Googles of the world, they don't appreciate when you use AI for things like SEO. If you're not putting you into it, Google can tell. There's AI detectors out there. I will tell you that I also have some fun with those because it's fun to see if you can trick that system too. I've been detected as AI with my own words. But when we think of the vast amount of written word online, it's pretty hard to come up with something completely original that has never been typed out in any capacity. So it does make it difficult in schools and marketing. Everything kind of has this up against them, that how do you tell if it was AI or if someone actually wrote it? It is kind of difficult sometimes.
That was one of the things on my list about SEO, and you just hit it. If we're going to put stuff in SEO that looks like it wasn't an original thought or has nothing maybe to do with what my article is, with my pages, give us a high level think on that.
It's more of that outside the box thinking that you need to do. So if you're struggling with SEO, you can lay out your issue to AI, and instead of saying, "Write this for me," like do the entire job for me, "I'm struggling to be found for this. What are some things I can do?" Because AI is kind of like that other person in a conversation. It doesn't always have to deliver to you the final product. It can deliver to you parts of the conversation and help be a guide as well. It is often helpful in those scenarios because it thinks of things that you may not think of. And that's where I would say, if you're using it for SEO, using it that way, 100% doable and workable, and Google can appreciate that. But if you're using it to write everything for your SEO that you're going to just copy and paste, probably not the best idea.
So let me understand this. I want to talk about the fact that I am now doing safety calibrations in my shop.
Mm-hmm.
And I write a blog. It's on my shop. I'm putting it out in a newsletter, but I also want to try to get some SEO thing going. And of course, the industry knows it as ADAS, but I don't think our clients know it as ADAS, but they do know it as safety calibrations, or at least they should know it. And if I typed into AI, I'm struggling to get noticed for doing safety calibrations for my client's car. I'm in an automotive repair shop. We have really great, talented people that know how to do this, and it keeps the car safe, on the road. And is that what you're trying to say? Be a real person and asking about this?
Absolutely. And you can drill it down and be more specific. If you're, I'm specifically not being found on this page for this thing, you can get that detailed. Any question you could ask anyone else, any expert in any field, you can ask AI. It may not give you the accurate answer, but it can be a good place to start.
Wow. So if I say I'm not being discovered on auto repairs near me, you think they could slice some really good stuff for you?
They'll give you starting points.
They'll give you a good 5-7 bullet points of things to start trying and changing and to look at.
This is scary. Okay.
So,
so all of this is, here's how crazy my mind thinks. Don't think I'm weird. But you guys are telling a story about do-it-yourselfer. Why do they need marketing companies?
I feel like we've seen this in a movie or two. It is a little scary to think of that in a lot of ways, the human is eliminated when you start asking a machine to answer these questions for you or to give you this direction. But at the end of the day, that's why you need to bring the human back in, because the machine may not deliver what you actually need. And someone still needs to almost proof that for you before it's launched, before it's taken as the right answer.
We also know that especially this industry, that the vast majority of the owners and the managers are doing 20 different things at once and don't have the time to even go play with AI or respond to the reviews in a timely manner.
Yeah.
So that's why companies like us are here to help them so they can focus more on their customer, getting that money, building that foundation with those customers so they can become a repeat customer. And then we can take care of the digital side. I'm
100% with you. And I don't mean to say that marketing can be DIY, because if you're a smart professional CEO I don't care what company, but let's just talk about our profession. It goes back to something I was on a rant with the other day, and I don't know if I wrote a blog on it or if I've done an episode on it. It's the holiday. Everything's going through my mind right now, but it was like, do you have a marketer? Do you have an expert coach? Do you have a recruiter? And it's like, you've got to have a cadre of people working with you and for you. And for you to go out and say, I'm going to do DIY marketing and let AI drive that is probably the wrong thing. AI can help you in many ways, but if you start relying on it, it's almost like you could end up becoming a druggie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very addictive of the different rabbit holes you can go down on those searches. I find myself spending way too much time on it, and I don't like it personally, but I use it every day.
Wow, this is a wide awake episode, I think, for everybody who's listening to this. It's like, warning, use AI at your own peril, but learn to love it in a certain way. I mean, it's like, be careful of the level of intimacy that you get with AI. It's almost like, you're my great friend and I'll give you a hug, but please keep your distance.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. Well, especially when you think of this industry, right? There's so many DIY forums out there and so much information online that your master techs are not going to agree with, right? But someone in their backyard, in their own garage, may have a different process of doing something. AI might take that information and implement it into your marketing strategy or your review response or whatever you're using it for, because it's trying to be the expert in this field and using all that data. And it doesn't know what's right or wrong. So even things like that, when you consider how big this industry is online and everybody's, talking about their vehicles and how they did a specific process, it's a scary thing.
I just wrote an article on comparing our industry to the veterinary industry. And it was all about the love that we have for our animals. And that's the inherent culture in that place. People are bringing their animals to the vet to be maintenance, just come in for a checkup.
Preventative maintenance even.
think about the preventative maintenance thing. We bring our vehicle to a shop. It's our baby.
Yeah.
It's an important part of our life. It gives us freedom, transportation. We go to work, we go shopping, we go to birthday parties, we see the kids, we go to school. We do that. And when that vehicle comes in, I was making the analogy is think in your mind, if you own an animal and you know how important that is in the things you do on the maintenance of the vet side, look at your customer and know and get that feel and start saying the kind of words that you've heard from the vet, or that you say something to an individual that makes them so relate to a loved one like a pet. That's a huge know, like, and trust thing, isn't it?
Huge.
You look at it this way too, Carm, is how many people have a name for their car?
Yeah.
It's got that personal connection to it. And I know exactly what you're referring to there, because my car, I just got it back after being in the shop for 2 months, and I felt like a prisoner in my own house. It was awful.
You were just
there you go. Oh, my daughter Tracy's first car, she called it Logan.
I love it.
I know. So yeah, you're so right. You always have some kind of affection for your family, but more on the pet side. So my point in the article was to get our shop owners to talk to their service advisors, client advocates, get that veterinary mentality going in the relationship that individual has with their vehicle, no different than the pets that you have at home. And it's not hard for us to know, because a lot of times in the vehicle, we can see remnants of a pet, or people love to talk about their animals. Sometimes their phones have the animal's picture on it. We have to pick up on that as we're building a relationship with our client and know, hey, how's Tippy?
Right.
Oh, Tippy's great. Just had Tippy to the vet, just like you're bringing in your car.
I love that. I really do. And you invest so much into your car that even if we don't admit it, we all have that connection. And you spend so much time in your vehicle. You have that connection whether you realize it or not.
This is a great analogy too, that you use the vet, because both of them, you bringing something that you value in to be fixed or diagnosed or cured. And sometimes they don't know the answers right away. They've got to do a series of tests.
And then there's the how much you pay angle. And let me just say this. You will spend whatever it takes on your animal to overcome any challenge that they would have. And it hurts really bad, but you never complain. Now you're trying to build a great business and you realize your labor rate needs to be here. You need to charge this way. You need to have all the right labor matrices, parts matrices, everything working, because you've got a big investment. You need to keep people, all the reasons why, the kind of net profit that we need to grow our business. So you can't be bashful to charge what you need to charge, especially if you're really good and you're at the top of your game. Vets they don't worry about what they got to charge. They charge. No. And it's not because it's an emotional hook. They understand it. Same way in our shops. So I can't charge that much money. Well, okay. If you were a vet, what did you pay for the last time you went to the vet and there was a problem? Oh, $800. Okay. Right. And I'm not trying to draw a terrible analogy here. I'm just trying to draw almost, it's like the facts of life. I mean, throw this whole concept that I'm talking about into AI. I'd love to see what comes back.
Maybe we should. We should take this entire podcast and just plop it in and see what AI thinks.
Yes. AI compare a veterinarian to, oh my God, my head hurts. It's going a mile a minute trying to figure this out.
We're going to need an after session, Carmen. You and I can play with AI and see what it has to say.
We should do that, Jordan. Oh my God, what an idea.
It's really cool sometimes, the stuff that you get from AI. It can make parallels that you never thought of, but even though it was your idea and it stemmed from something from you, it's almost just like having a partner, like a virtual assistant that helps you build on an idea sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Wow. If anybody's listening to this, I put out my email Monday to all of our subscribers, and then I take that like 2 or 3 weeks later and I put it into the blog and article on my website, remarkableresults.biz. Just look at the blog article page, and if you didn't get a chance to read it within a couple of weeks, and probably by the time we release this, it will already be on my website. Check it out if you want to hear that veterinarian perspective that I have. I got about 5 or 6 paragraphs. I just went on about it. It's one of those things that just came to me. So you're sitting here, you're a shop owner, and an idea came to you. Okay, go to AI, help AI carve something out that you could either use in social media or in your own blog that you write, and then work it, make it you. Is it you? These are some, incredible pointers that come out of this.
And you can even use AI to solve issues that aren't even creative based. So I've
Yeah.
even asked AI to help solve like a scheduling issue. I've got this many employees, this many shifts that need to be filled, things like that, that if you're struggling to find where they can go and what anything, when I say you can bring anything to AI, I really mean it. Almost anything you can ask AI for
I
help
never
because
thought of that.
it can sort for you. It can do so many different things.
The one thing that I am
Hmm.
guilty of using it often for is, we all know that the way that they teach math in schools today is completely different from the way that we learned it. So I will go to it and tell it, hey, show me the steps to solve this problem using this method. And it
This is
actually gives me the
scary.
steps by steps.
Doug, this is scary. Do you sit up at night thinking about this stuff?
I never
I'm
sleep.
probably worse than him.
Oh, man.
I have a notebook by my bed that I wake up and just start writing things down.
Well, you know what we should do? This is, I think, my first real deep episode on AI. I think we've talked about AI in a flighting way where some shop owners will say, yeah, we'll go to AI. We're writing an estimate, or we want the right words that are coming back from the digital vehicle inspection. And, we found this, we found that, and give us a nice paragraph back on this stuff. And a couple of shop owners says, we've used it, but we also make sure it sounds like us. It sounds like a human. And I've been hearing a lot about that, but this is the first one that we've done that I think goes beyond the shop and gets into management, marketing, life. For us as professional shop owners in our industry, have the right words to say in a response to a review, into an article that we're writing, or even saying, hey, we're participating in this great community event. We're so proud to be part of this thing. You type all that in and it says, clean this up.
Yes. That is a really useful tool. Or just switch up the words. Because when you feel
Yeah.
like you've written that same thing over and over and over and you just can't find the right words for it, asking AI to help add, contribute, adjust, it can be really nice.
Oh,
I'll use it to help it clean up my emails I send out to our prospective clients, or just to help add more to it or clean up the punctuations of it.
hmm
Grammarly.
Grammarly is an AI as well. So
I
if you've been
know.
using Grammarly, I love Grammarly. But now that I use the bigger models, I don't have to rely on Grammarly as much anymore. But it doesn't take away everything. It allows me to do more. In fact, I feel I'm more efficient. Feel I'm more productive utilizing AI because I can get through some of those tedious things that didn't really need my full focus and attention and work on cooler things.
Damn. All right. I love this. This was great. Please come back and be my AI resource. Okay.
I'll come back whenever
Absolutely.
you'd like,
Yeah.
Carm.
Let's figure something out. Go play some games and then come back and says, hey, I got one for you. All right.
I'll record it next time, so maybe you can even show a clip if you want to.
Yeah, that would be so cool to see. Yeah. I mean, why not keep teaching our industry the power that AI can bring to them, as long as they remember that you got to add you to it.
Yes.
Oh, this was
Absolutely.
great. Jordan Greene, thank you so much for being here from Optimized Digital Marketing, the Director of Ops, and Doug Robinson, Director of Sales and Partnerships. Big job, you guys. Well, thank you for your insights, and I just love this. Thank you.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you.
This was fun.
Loved being here.
Yeah, thanks.